because we've seen a lot of week one results that have not proved to have anything to do with reality. The most famous of them all came in 2003. The Patriots in week one lost 31-0 to the Bills. You figure, well, they're awful. Well, the next thing they did was they won 17 of the next 18 games and won the Super Bowl. Let's go to the very famous 2011 Eagles. They were called the Dream Team. Remember what a disaster that turned out to be? They won big week one, 31-13. We thought, oh, they really are going to be that good. Then they lost 6 of their next 8 and became a cautionary tale in football history. And then if you want something more recent, let's jump to just last year. The New Orleans Saints scored 47 points in their opener. By the way, they scored 44 in week 2. And we thought, oh my goodness, what an offense this is. And then they lost 12 of their next 15 games and finished 24th in scoring offense. So those were false starts. So let me ask you, coming off of week 1, Jeff Saturday, some of the things we saw, were these real or were these things that we will forget about as we move forward? So the Lions looked awful. Their offense looked as though they missed Ben Johnson more than anyone has ever missed anyone. So my question to you is, was that real or was it a false start?
I think it's a false start. Listen, I think Dan Campbell, they averaged 2 yards a run. That is not a Dan Campbell physical mentality. They didn't play like that. I think Dan Campbell will go back to the drawing board. He'll make sure John Morton understands this is how our offense has to be productive. And so I think they get this thing right. So I think that was a false start. I think Detroit gets better.
They got steamrolled. Let's go to the Vikings next. We were so impressed, and we talked about it all yesterday morning. What J.J. McCarthy did in the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter alone opened up a lot of eyes. But that's just one quarter so far. So the idea that he's now going to be their guy, is that a false start or is that something you think is real?
I don't think it's a false start. I think this is real. And again, he didn't play well in the first 3 quarters. Obviously had a hot fourth quarter. They end up winning the game. But you saw how everybody trusted in him, including his head coach, KOC. This guy's got the goods. He'll continue to get better throughout the season.
Then the last one, and I will avert my eyes. Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns and no picks in his revenge game against the Jets.
Revenge!
All of a sudden people are saying, oh, that looked like the old MVP Rodgers. Is that real or is that a false start?
That is a false start. He got set. Corner's not going to be at 3 yards off in the middle and get run by. Like, we're not going to do some of those things. So the Jets helped a little bit by being overly aggressive, in my opinion. I don't think teams will give that. I think teams could put pressure on him unless their offensive line gets.
They keep hearing that, but no one knows Aaron Rodgers better than the Jets did. He had been there the last 2 years. Why would they have been playing directly into his hands?
Well, Aaron Glenn is an aggressive play caller on defense, and he's going to blitz you no matter what, right? That's his calling card. So he trusted what happened. They'll get better on the back end of that Jets defense as well.
Wait for me over here.
All right,
I feel like there is a hesitancy on the part of people to say what I think I saw the other day, which is Aaron Rodgers looked reborn. He looked like exactly what I was afraid he was going to be, which is all of a sudden he's on a competent team with competent coaching, and he looks like he can still play. And what am I missing?
No, I mean, I think that if you are looking for like around average quarterback play, I think you got that from Aaron Rodgers. I think the selling
average. He threw 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. Is that average?
You got to watch the touchdowns. Like there's nothing in those touchdowns that makes me think, oh, this is MVP Aaron Rodgers. I don't mean this as a slight, but I think that this is not a sustainable way for the Steelers to win. The reason why I and other people had faith in the Steelers is we thought that they would play great defense and ask Aaron Rodgers to make a couple plays here and there. He got hit entirely too much. And you saw he was a little panicky in the pocket once that started happening, which is fair. He was hitting the Jets in the face mask with footballs. Like, this game was not the MVP level Rodgers that I think that we are selling it as because he had 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Look, I think some of the things that we expected to happen in this game didn't. That was that the Steelers would play good, sound, fundamental defense, not be, giving up plus 20-yard explosives at the rate that they were. I think they'll get that corrected. I think we thought Pittsburgh would run the football a little bit better than they did. I think they'll get that corrected too, because that's what Arthur Smith is. The thing we didn't expect, that people are having a hard time grappling with, is the fact that the play-action passing game, Arthur Smith's play calling, all were like on it. They were on it the entire game. And people were going, remember, people wanted to run Arthur Smith out of Pittsburgh. They didn't think he was a good offensive coordinator. No one wanted Pittsburgh to sign Aaron Rodgers. A lot of Pittsburgh fans didn't want Pittsburgh to sign Aaron Rodgers. But he delivered relative to what they had to offer yesterday. So look, I think it is sustainable. You can't get him hit the way they got him hit. You better average more than 3 yards a carry, and the defense better not give up explosives like that. But I think Aaron's here to stay as far as his performance.
I think this can go one of two ways this season. You've got the 2021 Rams where it was like, let's get Odell, let's get Von Miller, let's bring in Stafford, and they go away and they're just on the rise. Or it could be the 2004 Lakers with Steve Nash and Dwight Howard, and you're like, we put all the pieces together on paper, we're good, right? And then it's like, this team, Jalen Ramsey played great.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf played great. Jonnu Smith showed up. All of the new acquisitions, in addition to Rodgers, all played great. It's 1 week. It's a 17-week season. None of these guys are exactly young and fresh legs.
4 again is a bit much.
Well, I mean,
I'd just say.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that was a performance that we did not see in either of the last. Well, he didn't really only had one season with the Jets. At no point did it look like that last year. It didn't really look like that his final year. I mean, the numbers are what the numbers are. He completed 73% of his passes for 4 touchdowns and no picks. You've got the Jets this week, right, against the Bills. Have you had a chance to hear from them yet on what they thought of what Rodgers did?
Let me tell you right now, Aaron Glenn does not want to talk about Rodgers anymore. He's over that. No, I think, with Aaron Rodgers, I think he got a tickle out of playing the way he did. I think the question of whether it's sustainable, you said, yes, it's sustainable, as long as he doesn't get hit that much, as long as the defense does all those things, as long as And so the question is how they played. It was not sustainable. They have to be better.
I think that's the point I was trying to make also. Is like, I think this team can be good, but they're not going to continue to win if the games look like that particular one.
Yeah.
Perhaps not. All I'll say is, you watch the Steelers play, since Ben Roethlisberger was at his peak, the offense has never looked like that. Not once.
Let's just put it this way. Aaron Rodgers isn't washed up and done.
No.
He has plenty left.
Yes.
That's obvious.
All right, next up is Baltimore, where the Ravens now need to bounce back from a 15-point blown lead in the fourth quarter against Buffalo. In their final 3 possessions on offense, they went punt, fumble, punt. Josh Allen capitalized 3 consecutive scoring drives. And while not all losses fall on the quarterback, it is worth noting that since 2019, Lamar Jackson has 5 losses, went up double digits in the fourth quarter. That's the most of anybody. For context, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen have 1 loss combined, went up double digits in the fourth quarter. I want to talk about the psyche. Lewis, you sat here at this desk last week and you said, if the Ravens lose this game after losing to Buffalo to win their season, you think it's going to be tough for them to take mentally?
Yeah, no question. Look, Kimberly, I think she termed it as going back to the scene of the crime and having it repeat itself in the same way. It repeated itself in an even more devastating way. Because they thought, we were all sitting there watching the game like, man, this is over. They are running Buffalo right out of the stadium.
In the press box.
And next thing you know, when it starts getting tight and Josh starts making some plays, you can just sit there and go, you can see the guys' faces on the sideline going, hey man, we about to blow this thing? And they can't seem to get themselves out of that kind of funk and stop it. And it's not just the offense. Forget Derrick Henry's fumble and, whether Lamar, he said at one point when they didn't go for it on 4th down, he was cramping. And if he hadn't been, they would have went for it on that 4th and 3. The defense late in that game. I mean, there's going to be questions around Zach Orr again now, at the beginning of the season again. Is he able to make sure that this defense can shut people down when they need to?
I'm glad you brought up the defense because we spoke on Countdown, and I spent the week talking to players, defensive players, one in particular, Roquan Smith, and he talked about how everybody talks about, to a man, revenge. We're going up there, Roquan Smith, we're going up there to start getting what we rightfully deserve this season, and it begins in Buffalo. This is a team that thought we should have been in the Super Bowl. If we don't beat ourselves, there's nobody who can beat us. And then they go in there, and he even talked about Josh. Make him throw. He's liable to make a mistake. And hearing it, I was like, is he though? Is he liable? So the letdown of that defense for the psyche, the mentality that they came into the building with, to have it disintegrate.
Their psyche, and I kind of brushed it off. Like, whatever, they'll be fine. They lost first game last year. They'll bounce back. I didn't anticipate it going down the way that it did. Like anybody, your psyche will be impacted by having a 90% or 99% win percentile and losing in the fashion that they did. And Josh Allen, you're right. Like anytime you can avoid having him with the ball in his hand with a chance to win, you got to do it. You got to figure out a way.
We're like the Giants front office up here. Everybody's in full panic, bro. This roster is the best in the NFL. Be real. Like when we all look at this thing, this is a great team.
Right.
Great team. They did not play well. They didn't finish. This team will be in the hunt come February. Make no mistake. I don't care about psyche. I don't care about. It was they all walk back and go, man, we blew it. We screwed up. Derrick Henry goes, I got a hole in the ball. The backside right tackle who got beat inside go, that ain't going to happen again. Lamar goes, I ain't going to cramp. I'll take salt pills, whatever it is. But man, this ain't good football
but you know
team,
what?
y'all.
At the end of last year, what did they say too? I'll hold on to the ball when I scramble around. I won't stop. Mark Andrews said, I'm going to catch that thing next time.
Right. I get that.
Final word.
It's the way in which they lose. That's the storyline. It's the same repetitive thing. They'll be fine, but
They lost this next game last year, too. Remember, they lost a heartbreaker to Kansas City week 1. Then they came home, they had a double-digit lead and lost to the Raiders.
Yes.
Now they get Cleveland this week. Let's see if it looks anything like
First, in this third quarter, they'll begin with 1st and 10. Throwing is Purdy. That's taken in by Jennings. And he'll be tackled up around the 45-yard line. That's a gain of 19 and a very quick first down.
Whatever they've talked about in the locker room at the halftime break seems to have worked. They've come out with a new established energy. You could see it when they took the field. Now this offense seems to be building on it because with that chunk play, just a little bit of rhythm that they can build off of. They got a long way to go to get back into this game, but so far off to a good start.
They run straight ahead with McCaffrey. And he'll get 2 on this one before being taken down. They run once more with McCaffrey. And now for a second time, he loses the football. And this is taken in by the defense.
So the biggest thing that stands out here, Mike, is the fact that the defense just continues to pursue to the ball. Every defense focuses on get as many hats to the ball carrier as possible because the guy in front of you, he misses the tackle or he falls down. You have to be there to make up for it. And the pursuit to the ball is not only how they're able to get him down, it's ultimately how they're able to take the ball away.
The Chiefs offense ready for their first possession. And remember now, all turnovers must be reviewed by replay. So this one is going to need a little closer look. At issue was the knee or any other body part except the hand down before the ball comes loose. And are the visuals convincing enough to overturn the call on the field? So that one overturned. They say the runner was down, and that will not be a fumble. And he's going to have a 49ers first down. They're able to convert on 3rd and short, picking up 4.
I like the element of surprise here, Mike. It seemed like everyone was so keyed elsewhere on the play that nobody even gave a thought to him potentially getting the run. Didn't take him long to see he was going to be able to clearly pick up that first down.
So they come to the line for first down and 10. Throwing from the gun is Purdy. Now a shot downfield for Samuel. And he's got another one. Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, 49ers. He has come alive after the break. His 3rd touchdown of the second half. And that is the hat trick. What a game. His 3rd touchdown reception of this one.
And nothing they've done to slow him down has worked, Mike. This defense, they're throwing multiple guys at him. They're playing man, they're playing zone. It doesn't matter. This guy is having his way, and he's having a day.
extra point up and good from Moody. And the 49ers are back to within 7. It's 28-21. So, following that touchdown, Moody is back out to kick it off. Hardman now to return it. Now an opening past the 30. Good return here. Brings it up to the 33-yard line.
It's easy to make your quarterback look good when you can just get open as easily as he has in this game so far. I mean, he had the big first half, remember. But here in the second half, he just continues to add to these numbers here in the third quarter.
They put Kelsey in motion. Here's Patrick. He'll throw it on first down. Open man downfield. It's Rice. And he's down inside the 40-yard line.
Automatic first down.
Here's Edwards-Helaire. And he'll get about 5. Off the play fake, here's Mahomes. That's over the middle and intercepted. That's the linebacker, Fred Warner.
You know, Mike, I like the mindset of this offensive coordinator. He's saying, listen, I'm not looking to preserve this lead. I'm looking to extend my lead. Now, that aggressive play calling in this case led to the turnover. Now your defense has to take the field. Can they bail you out and keep this lead unchanged prior to their next possession?
Brock Purdy and the NFC champs back out to begin this next drive. And we show you some of the highlights, and there have been plenty to choose from. 3 touchdown passes and some other big-time throws as well. Certainly dialed in and on top of his game right throughout this one. 1st and 10 now from the 36.